Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studios here at Culpeper Media Network. It's my pleasure to welcome you to another episode of the Recreation Rundown. In case you're curious, and you're probably not, my name is Jonathan Krawchuk, Station Manager here at Culpeper Media Network. And as always, it's my pleasure to welcome our guest for today, Miss Tabitha. Tabitha, first off, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you today?
You know, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. It's very kind of you. So, Tabitha, do me a favor. You are Programs and Facilities Supervisor for Culpeper County Parks and Recreation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, before we get started, there's going to be a lot of instances during this program, as there have been in past episodes, where folks, something's going to click in their head and they're going to want to contact you. Start things off. I am aware that your phone number at the offices is 727-3412. Okay. Now, we do need your extension.
I'm at extension 5.
Okay. And Andrew Hardy, the Director of Parks and Rec?
Is at extension 7.
Okay. We're gonna make sure we mention that quite a few times, just to make sure folks, as we go through the program, are able to contact you immediately. So first and foremost, welcome back. It's been a little bit since we had you in the studio.
Yes.
A lot is an understatement, but there's been quite a bit going on with your winter programs are closing out. We got spring stuff right around the corner. We have so much to get to on the program. I think the first thing I want to ask you is, there's just so much.
There is, isn't there?
There really is. It's hard to pin down exactly where to start, but you know what I will do? I did mention winter programs.
Yes.
Now, we are coming to the tail end, but are there any additional winter programs?
We still have some winter programs scheduled for March-ish.
Okay.
We've got, I had to make a cheat sheet again, so
I
bear
have no
with
problem
me.
with that.
We've got a couple outdoor learning labs that Friends of the Rappahannock is doing for us that is geared for homeschoolers. We've got a really cool program. It's called Frogs and Toads. It's actually a citizen science class. So Friends of the Rappahannock is going to take you out and you do a frog count. It is after dark, so you listen to the different frogs and she helps you identify what species they are. And then they can actually report that and see how healthy the environment around here is for the different frog species.
Interesting.
So that's coming up. And then, as you said, this is the tail end of winter classes. Our spring classes, registration's getting ready to open on March 11th.
Okay.
Got a lot of great programs coming up for spring. That is also around about the date when the Culpeper Quarterly will be in everybody's mailbox. So definitely look for that. As always, I'm very biased. The center section is the absolute best because that's our section. But there's lots of great information in the Quarterly. The Culpeper Library's in there, Kids Central's in there, the Extension Office, all sorts of other county organizations that provide services to the community. So it's a great resource. But again, our section, pull it out, keep it, mark it up, look online, circle your favorite programs. If you don't see a favorite program, let me know.
Yeah, and that's one thing we've mentioned a couple times on the episodes here is I love the feedback from the community because there have been numerous classes that have been added, new instructors that have been pulled from the community, all based upon community feedback. And I think that's essential not only to the success, but also to the integration with the public.
Absolutely. I am only one person. I actually do have someone helping me now with programs, Miss Samantha Whitesides. Between the two of us, we can come up with some really great ideas, but we can't think of everything. So we do need the public's help. What do you want to see us offer? So different activities, programs, shoot us an email, message us on Facebook, give us a phone call. We're always looking for ideas, and even more importantly, we love the people who want to teach, who want to share their skills. If you're a crocheter or a knitter and you want to share that with other people, you don't have to have a teaching background. You just have to be willing to want to share that information and that passion for that craft or activity.
Now, we talked earlier about contacting you via phone, and we talked about the winter classes that are still available. Methods of contact, you mentioned email.
Correct.
What's the best email for you?
Easiest email for people to remember is parks, P-A-R-K-S, at culpepercounty.gov.
Okay.
You can message us on Facebook. Either search Culpeper County Parks and Recreation on Facebook, or if you just want to type it in, it's facebook.com/Culpeper Recreation.
And your website?
Website is culpeperrecreation.com. We try to keep everything consistent and easy to remember.
Okay. All right. So that's the they can get a full listing of classes, but we want to hear about some of the ones you were talking about that are coming up.
Coming up. So, lots of great programs coming up. An intermediate birding class.
I'm sorry, birding.
Birding. So, come out and look for birds. We're going to go on a nature hike. Again, Friends of the Rappahannock. They've become a great partner doing lots of great programs for us. She's going to take you out, help you identify birds. The intermediate class is for people that have a little bit of birding knowledge. You don't have to be an expert, but you can tell a chickadee from a cardinal. So
I am not intermediate. Well, actually, I know what a cardinal is.
So
Halfway there.
halfway there. So you could still definitely come out. But she's going to help increase those skills. We've got another homeschool program, Art Jam, which Miss Kelly Roswadowski teaches. She's a fabulous instructor. The spring theme is going to be inspired by nature. So all of the entire 8-week session is going to be different nature-related projects. And she does 2 in-person classes because we had such an overwhelming response this past winter. She actually added a second class. She also does a virtual option. We are doing quilting. We've got Zumba. We've got an owl prowl, time for toddlers, family night hikes. We are having a family kayak paddle and all sorts of other things. One of the ones I'm really excited about, Miss Samantha is going to be teaching an intro to piano.
Really?
Really. Mainly for youth. If adults are interested, please email us and let us know. We'll put you on a wait list. If we get enough adults interested, we'll offer it. We'll schedule a class. But for the spring, the youth class is going to be free.
I'm sorry, did you say free?
Free.
Now, how is that one, how was that able to be free?
That is able to be free thanks to the Vince Valla first annual benefit concert last year. They made a donation to us. We were able to offer a free guitar class last fall. We had 2 different age groups and had about 15-ish kids in the program. And then we're going to do the free piano lessons this spring. So, and on that note, the people who organized the Vince Valla concert last year are actually doing Culpeper Palooza this year. It's going to be on Saturday, April 23rd. It is a benefit event, and they are taking the proceeds and making donations to different organizations to provide free or reduced cost music and educational programs.
You know, that is, for anybody that knows Vince, they know how important music was in his life. It was wonderful to go around town and see him perform many different.
Yes.
If I didn't see him while we were working, I saw him when I was hanging out in the afternoon.
Exactly.
And I know he would be beyond proud about what is going on with this program. I'm sure coming up in future programs, we will hear more about Culpeper Palooza. We might even have a singular program about that.
Exactly.
There's a lot going on there.
That's going to be a great event. So, but that's kind of what we've got coming up for the spring.
Okay.
And again, classes are actually already posted online. You can't register yet, but you can go through and mark your wish list items. That way, when registration does open on March 11th, you can just make it say, add to my cart, and you're good to go.
You know, you make a good point. And one thing that I haven't mentioned before, I went on the website and there was a specific class that I was interested in. And just like you were saying, the wish list. Put in my email, click the classes I was interested in, and then I got subsequent emails like, hey, by the way, John, if you and your family are interested, here comes that class, here comes that information. That was I think it's a great addition and a very welcome thing for folks if they're looking to, you know, I'm interested, but I know it's coming down the road.
Right.
For great opportunity for them.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a nice reminder because we all get busy.
Yeah.
We want to do something and, okay, I want to do this, but it's not till May. And then May comes and you're busy and it's like, oh, phooey, I didn't sign up for that.
Life always gets in the way.
So, yeah, it's always better to sign up early. That way we know we have enough people to run the class because if we don't get enough people, we're not able to run classes.
Yeah. So again, if we're looking to do that, again, listings of all these classes, culpeperrecreation.com.
Yep. Click on the icons, the activities icon right in the middle. If you're on a mobile device, you may have to scroll down to see it. If you're on a desktop, it'll be right in the middle of the page.
All right, fantastic. Now I know that you have been planning some special events for months, and I mean months on end.
Right.
We have a couple of them coming up fairly soon, don't we?
Correct. We are doing an Moonlight Easter egg hunt on Friday, April 8th.
April 8th.
It is going to be free, but you do have to pre-register. That way we know we have enough eggs.
Okay.
We've got to put our order in with the Easter Bunny to make sure he drops off enough eggs for us.
He's a busy lad.
He is, especially this time of year. Then we also have the Wicked Bottom 5K coming up. It's a great event for those that are new to doing 5Ks. It's a nice flat course. The only hill on the event is in the first half of the event. So before mile 1, you get the only hill out of the way. Then everything else is downhill or flat.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, makes a nice, easy course. So it's a fast course, which is great for the more experienced runners and people who participate in 5Ks regularly. Sometimes they want a nice, easy, fast course.
Yeah.
So we also partner with Girls on the Run. They use this as their end-of-season event. So their buddy runners register and then they complete, and it's a great time for everybody.
Again, the date for the Wicked Bottom 5K?
Saturday, May 7th.
Okay. Now, registration available, additional information available on the website.
Yes.
I'm assuming they're going to do T-shirts for that one?
They're going to do T-shirts for that one, but to get a T-shirt, you have to register by April 10th.
April 10th. So the week of April 8th is going to be a pretty busy week. I have the Easter egg hunt.
Yep.
And then I also have to make sure I register for the Wicked Bottom 5K.
Correct.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
All right. Well, fantastic. I mean, it's great as you come in here. We talk about the plethora of classes being offered, and each time I will obviously make mention of the partnerships
Yes.
that you work with in our community in order to make Culpeper County Parks and Recreation successful. We've already spoken about Girls on the Run, GOTR, as it's fun to say.
Yes.
Also, Friends of the Rappahannock.
4.
Yeah, and it's just we're talking about the individuals who orchestrated the Vince Valley Benefit Concert. Obviously, all of these are contributing to the success of Culpeper County Parks and Recreation.
Yes,
So-
very much so. There's only so many staff members, but we can't do our job effectively without the community partnerships. Yeah. So they help us provide the great services to the community that we do.
So speaking of services, there's obviously a lot going on, but there's even more if folks are willing to do it themselves. You know, if folks they want to take advantage of the facilities
Yes.
that Culpeper County Parks and Recreation offer, but not everybody might be familiar.
Right.
So do me a favor, can you talk about some of those and if they're available for rental? I mean, I know they are, but
Right.
I mean, that time is coming up.
Right.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. We have rentals this weekend.
Oh, really?
So, yes, we have 6 facilities that are available for rent for picnics, birthday parties, stuff like that. So the most popular is actually Lynn Park because it is an indoor facility. So you get an indoor activity room with restrooms, a warming kitchen. There is no stove. There is a microwave and places for crock pots, and then the outdoor shelter. That is available for rent for birthday parties, baby showers, whatever. We've got our price list on our webpage. Spillman Park has a picnic shelter. Spillman is up in Amosville. Lynn Park is in Stevensburg. Still technically Culpeper address, but it's Stevensburg. It's right across from Old House Vineyards. Spillman Park is on Colvin Road in Amosville, right there at the caution light. It has a picnic shelter that will seat 60 to 80 people. Great little park. There's a playground there for the toddlers and younger kids, multi-purpose field, disc golf, walking trails. It's a beautiful little park. We also recently took over the green space at Mountain Run Lake Park. So we have the 4 shelters there that we are processing rentals for. So if anybody's interested or has reserved Mountain Run Lake in the past, don't contact the town. Contact us. The town's going to send you to us anyway, so just skip that step. Culpeperrecreation.com. You can actually process the request online. Comes to us, we review it, we send it back, you make payment, everything's good to go.
I know we mentioned before about that added benefit of being able to do everything online.
Right.
Not only is it very cost effective, but it's very easy to do.
Right.
And I think a lot of folks take advantage of it.
Exactly. It's great, but there's still some people that don't like to do online.
Yeah.
In that case, come by and see us. We love seeing our customers. So simply stop by the office. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. We've got the forms in our office. You can handwrite, fill them out, and we can process the whole thing right there with you standing in front of us.
Fantastic. You could also call at 727-3412, right?
Correct. So they can also fill out the form, email it to us, then give us a call, and we can take payment and process it that way as well.
It's, well, you have about 4 easy ways to do it.
Correct. And with Mountain Run Lake, just remember, if you want to go boating or fishing, that you do still have to contact the town for, because there is boating and fishing permits the town requires, because they still own the lake since it's their reservoir.
Understood. That is an interesting detail. Thank you for pointing that out. Well, Tabitha, you and I have run out of time.
Okay.
But I do want to make sure we mention again the massive listing and availability of your website, culpeperrecreation.com. Everything we've spoken about today, it can be found on that website, and even more.
Yes, very much so.
And of course, 727-3412 is your number,
Yes.
and parks@culpepercounty.gov.
Correct.
Is a great email. So
Yep.
we have all the contact information. We know what's coming up. Got the Easter egg hunt on April 8th.
Yes.
Deadline for the Wicked Bottom 5K for registration for a shirt by April 10th.
Correct.
And then the Wicked Bottom 5K will be on May
7th.
7th. I was
We'll
so
still
close.
we'll still take registrations after April 10th. You're just not going to get a shirt.
Well, you know I love the shirts.
I know. Yeah. It's the whole reason I do 5Ks is just for the shirt.
All right, well, Tabitha, again, I thank you for coming in. We've spoken a lot about what's going on, but there still is more to come on this episode of the Recreation Rundown. So, folks, don't go anywhere. We have more to learn about Culpeper County Parks and Recreation right here. So stay with us. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now is a good friend of mine, good friend of the station, and a good friend of the Culpeper community, Mr. Scott Found. Scott, pleasure to see you, sir. How are you?
Good to see you, brother.
It is a pleasure to have you in studio. I can't even remember the last time. I don't think I've ever interviewed you in studio before.
This is my first public appearance.
Ooh, wow.
Yes,
I
yes,
feel
yes.
very, very lucky.
I'm a tad nervous. You know.
Well, you shouldn't be, because you're a great guy, and I've known you for a number of years, so it's
Sure.
just us chatting. So Scott, first and foremost, we were just talking with Tabitha regarding the programs that Culpeper County Parks and Rec does, and one of the things I want to segue with you is you have been extremely instrumental in helping some of those programs, specifically lately.
Sure.
But your love for sports and recreation in this community it's been ongoing for a number of years.
Yes.
For my personal question, I don't think I've ever asked you this. How did you get started in youth sports and recreation? Because obviously we worked together over the years. You supported the station. We worked with lacrosse. My uncle used to work with you. But how did you get started and find your passion for youth sports?
Well, you can blame it all on Bob Hudson. I believe it was 96. St. Luke's had a program who was losing a coach, and he had caught wind that I had played lacrosse in high school and college, and said, "Hey, we need some help." And I said, "Sure, I'd be glad to help out." And you know, here we are 30 years later, and both high schools have JV, varsity, girls and boys programs, and every once in a while I remind Bob, thank you for.
Thanks so much.
But it's been just the most incredible experience to be a part of, anywhere from 40 to 60 kids' lives for, 3 or 4 hours a day for an entire season, and then go through 4 years of that, and now 20 years down the line, they're having kids, and some of them are actually coaching teams that I coached, and so it's been a great pay it forward kind of situation where along the line, as a coach, you try to teach some life lessons and to give back, and some of them are doing that, and it's really good to see. And a lot are in the military, and something I respect completely. So it's been fulfilling for me to see young men, and I was in that situation, so I say young men. I coached boys lacrosse. Set goals, achieve them, and understand what that feels like, and how to apply that down the road in real life.
You make a good point in things that we talked about, helping to build the future for the community and these children. it starts early, and youth sports seems to be a great opportunity to do that. And because of your long tenure in the Culpeper community, especially with youth sports, as you mentioned before, you've seen kids come up and coach teams. I mean, you've literally seen the impact that youth sports has had in these individuals.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's got to make you proud when you see somebody, whether they, you mentioned somebody coming back from the military or coaching or just seeing them in the community. It's got to, I guess, warm your heart a little bit.
It makes it worthwhile. It certainly makes you feel like you've, because there's failures along the way too, and unfortunately we're hardwired to, focus on the failures and not the successes, but certainly to see people embrace that philosophy of somebody gave you a helping hand, and so when you get to the point where you can do that, then you ought to. Has made me feel like what I set out to do, maybe I achieved it in some small degree, and the old, if one person does it, that's better than nobody. So, but it's been we're talking about 1,000 some odd kids over 19 years, and some of them, I got one playing in the NFL right now, and so I don't take any credit for any of that, but it's just a small part. Maybe something along the line clicked and stuck with them, and that's all you can hope for, really.
Oh, absolutely. And I, for one, just want to say thank you. Your support, I could thank you, honestly, for 1,000 different things.
Well, you don't have to. I don't like being thanked.
I know.
I know that.
I know you don't be like put on the spotlight, but I don't get this opportunity
Right.
much. Thank you. And more specifically and lately, your donation to the new the facility at the complex, the field house, obviously was a sizable gift. But I want to ask you, I guess, what made you feel so compelled to donate the amount that you donated?
I think there's a number of points that come in there. One would be personally. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm coming to the end of my career. 35 years in the funeral industry is as far as I'm concerned, more than anybody deserves and can put up with, although it's been incredibly satisfying as well. But with that comes some age. So, I'm not able to get out on the field and coach the way that I like to coach, which is, I'm going to show you how it's done, or else I'd get hurt nowadays. So, I think that transition is normal. And I'm also, as I'm coming to the end of my career, business matures, and I think it's time to transition into supporting more with the means that I have, whereas maybe I'm not as capable to go out and give my time and actually physically do it.
Folks who don't have the monetary means can contribute in other ways
sure.
as well.
Whether you're working the concession stand, or whether you're setting up the cones for the team, or whether you're the team mom, or you volunteer to give snacks for one game. There's tons of opportunities, and the people that run them are great folks. They really are, and they care about the kids. And then, of course, my only other thing would be, as a parent, let the coach the kids, and some lessons will be learned, and it'll all work out for the best.
I'm sure it will. Scott, I got one more question for you before we part ways today. The new facility, the new field house at the complex, what do you see as the impact that will have on the community?
Well, I can't say that anything definitively about that, just simply because I'm not a detail-oriented person, and I'm not also I'm not a board joiner because of my job. I can't really plan my time. So what I do is, I know that the county has when it comes to parks and recs, has the community's best interests in mind, and with that knowledge, I feel comfortable providing them with the resources to accomplish what they accomplish. And if it fits my goal of, allowing somebody who maybe doesn't have the means to participate in something and can get a scholarship or whatever the case may be, as long as the accessibility to everyone is easier, you know, and if I can make it easier, whatever they're doing has got to be good, you know, and you know, I'm sure we'd hear about it if it wasn't, and that's, you know, I want to support good things, and I think, you know, Andrew all the way down, great people.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Scott, again, what a pleasure to see you again, and what
Yes,
a
sir.
pleasure to have you on camera.
Yes, sir.
Again, I appreciate what you have done for the community, what you continue to do, and to be honest with you, I feel with our discussion here today, maybe perhaps you've sparked that, you've generated that spark in someone who wants to be the next coach, the next
Oh, yeah.
team mom, the next volunteer, the next person to provide that opportunity to the Culpeper community.
Eastern Review and Culpeper are both being coached by former players, so
That's right, Chris.
Chris and Mr. Wysick
I forgot about that.
both went through a full college program, so good folks.
Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we still have more. I want to thank Scott Found for coming in. Stay tuned. We still have more on this episode of the Recreation Rundown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the studios here at Culpeper Media Network. Joining us now is the Director of Culpeper County Parks and Recreation. Please welcome Andrew Hardy. Mr. Hardy, what a pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you, Johnny.
We have had, quite honestly, an amazing program so far. Every single opportunity we get to talk about Culpeper County Parks and Recreation is just that, a great opportunity. Tabitha was talking about all the stuff coming up,
Right.
all the stuff still going on, and we had a great conversation with Mr. Found regarding his tenure in sports in Culpeper County, his passion, and in his words, and I think it echoes throughout the community, the good people doing great work at Culpeper County Parks and Recreation. So high praise not only from him, but also probably from me and maybe a few others watching today.
Yeah.
So that being said, you guys are doing some great work. And one of the things I wanted to speak with you is one of the most, I guess, the most visual aspects of that great work, the field house. Folks have been hearing a lot about it, and they are seeing
Yeah.
a lot of development. I mean, things are moving fast. So for me, I haven't been out there since our last program, unfortunately. Give me an update of where we're at. How's the field house coming along?
I mean, it's progressing along nicely. I mean, anyone could log on to our Facebook page, Culpeper County Parks and Recreation, or our new YouTube page, Culpeper Parks and Recreation as well. Between the photos that we're taking, we've got some great drone footage. And remarkably, even with the snow and bad weather that we've had, the project is rolling right along, that the gym walls are completely at their height. They transitioned over to the administrative side where the classrooms, Parks and Rec offices, aerobic studio, and the lobby is going to be. The trusses are supposed to be in next week, which will go on the building itself. That shockingly, it is moving along at such a wonderful pace. The county and the department couldn't be more excited about it.
I know there's a lot of folks who maybe somehow or another haven't seen the program, haven't heard about it. They come to the complex and they're like, "Whoa!" And I remember when I was driving over to Eastern View the other day, I literally pulled in and I said, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously things are happening. You seem to be on schedule, if not maybe even a little bit ahead of schedule.
I would think on schedule is probably the best term
Yeah,
for
we
it.
don't want to say ahead of schedule.
Because ahead of schedule just gives people the wrong opinion. But even with the construction, there's so much back end stuff the department is doing as well. Just last night, we released a survey, and I was telling Scott a little bit about it, that we're trying to get the community's input. So what are the best times for adult basketball, volleyball, youth basketball, pickleball, days, times in the gymnasium, because we're going to try to really gather information to form our schedule based on the community's needs. So that, the facility packet, the rules and regulations, it is a ever-moving operation from a construction to the planning.
Now that survey, is that still available or is that coming up?
It is. So it went live just yesterday, and it will run all the way through the 18th of March. And we're going to keep it on our Facebook page and other platforms. So even after that date, we're still going to be able to receive information for it.
Okay, so I can find that primarily on your Facebook page is the best. Okay, I can do
Absolutely.
that. All right. So I love the fact, and we talked about weaving of partnerships throughout the entire program, and then also the feedback and interaction with the community is another aspect that weaves through this entire program. Obviously, it's key to the success of Culpeper County Parks and Recreation, and I love the fact that that continues to be part of your mission moving forward. I think that's fantastic. We talked a little bit about the field house and how folks can, get involved with the progress on it. One of the other things that I've seen as well, we talked about last time we were in studio about the lights. Well, the capability for evening events at the complex is a large leap forward.
Yeah.
Where are we on that?
So we've got every single base, the concrete bases, the aluminum poles, all the fixtures, and starting on Monday, March the 7th, Musco and Icon will be actually on site doing the boring to put the bases in the ground, which it's really crazy because, again, going back to the weather, that project got delayed a tad bit because it was so wet they couldn't get on property. But the coolest portion about it, when you're talking about community engagement, all of the teams return March the 19th to the complex. So Little League, CFA, rugby, soccer, that many, and Scott may be one of them, that they thought lights at the complex would be a pipe dream and never a reality, are going to be there practicing on site while Musco and Icon are building this infrastructure from the ground up. And that's really exciting for those that have been wanting it for so many years.
That's a good point. Some thought it was a pipe dream, and here they are. The pipes are literally on the ground, getting ready to go up in the sky.
It is, and a lot of credit. I know people are talking about the Parks and Rec Department, but it's the community, it's the Board of Supervisors. They've really made it an initiative to support Parks and Rec for the community and the leisure services world. And without their efforts, none of this would be possible. We're pretty much just the ones that are picking the ball up and running with it. With the lights, with the field house, the pickleball courts that are coming at Mountain Run, hopefully here in the near future, that's hopefully the tip of the iceberg of what folks are going to see with the new Parks and Recreation Department here in Culpeper.
I love it. Good people doing great work.
Absolutely.
You did mention pickleball courts at Mountain Run Lake Park. Where are we at with that?
So on the 28th, the invitation for bid went out. And pretty much what that is a bunch of documents that have the engineering studies, the design, and it goes out to the general public for bid and us to receive quotes. That will officially close on the 17th of March. Then the county will review all the documents, and hopefully the price point will come in under the $130,000 that we've got allocated, and we'll be able to award the contract, and then progress on that project will start.
Fantastic. This is amazing. You put it very succinctly where, there's a lot of people involved with every single facet of the organization. But again, Parks and Rec picking up the ball and running towards a fantastic future for Culpeper County.
We're hoping so.
I think so. All right, so Andrew, we talked about the field house, we talked about the lights going up, pickleball, but with all these at the complex, when can I get on there to use the field?
So officially the complex will open up on March 19th for user groups. So that would be the soccer clubs, football, rugby, any organization that we have a memorandum of understanding with. As far as other outside agencies, it will open up on April the 1st, and we'll start receiving applications at that point. The one thing we do ask folks kindly about is that they pay attention to the open and closed signs that are on the facility, because at the end of the day, it's a long spring season, it's a long haul, and we don't want to absolutely destroy the fields. And just be mindful of that. Follow us on Facebook for closure announcements. For our leagues that are there, we'll inform them by about 3:15 of any changes or closures. Because at the end of the day, we want to be available, but we want to make sure that we're taking care of the assets that they use so much.
You're absolutely correct. And no one wants to play on a trampled field. And if he has to come back in here again and start talking to people about using or not using the fields, I think he might be a little upset. But I think we'll be fine with that. So as we move forward, actually, to be honest with you, I wanted some clarification. Outside agencies, the deadline for field use is April 1st, or it opens up to April 1st?
It'll officially open on April the 1st. Okay. And the reason why is because with the community complex, we want the user groups that we have agreements with that support programming for youth to get a priority. So they have an opportunity to submit their applications, us provide them what field usage they need, and then whatever is remaining, we'll open it up to other organizations.
Okay, now what is the deadline to file for those other organizations?
We actually don't have a deadline.
Okay.
So it can be May, June, and if you're looking for a field for your travel ball team or your community program, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll see what availability options are there and try to get you on a field that fits your needs.
All right. Well, Andrew, I appreciate you coming in and talking about it. There's so much going on, and as we move into spring season, it's going to be one thing after another, all for the future of, all for the future of the community,
Correct.
and all for quality of life here in Culpeper. All right. So again, lots of information. And if folks want more information, we're going to direct them to the website, phone numbers, email, a lot of information on those avenues. And I think a lot of folks are excited about what's coming next for Culpeper County Parks and Rec.
Well, and we are excited too, and we're just happy that we have the support of the community to help us bring this reality into focus for people. Because many, again, have been waiting, I would say lifetime or decade, for some of these services to come, and we're just privileged to have the opportunity to give it to them. So,
All right. Andrew, thank you for your time today.
thank you, Johnny K.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, if you want some additional information, maybe you want to find out all the classes that are going on, the special events coming up, like the Easter egg hunt or the Wicked Bottom 5K, or if you want the opportunity to be a part of Culpeper County Parks and Rec, either by maybe teaching or maybe becoming a volunteer in helping this organization and our community move forward, please use the information on your screen and make a difference in the future of Culpeper. Until we see you at the complex, the field house, or one of the many other avenues offered to us through Culpeper County Parks and Recreation, you have yourselves a great day and a better tomorrow.